Hello and welcome back to another weekly Roundup episode. Y'all already know this is the episode a week where we get into the hot topics. Some of them I want to talk about, maybe some of the ones you want to talk about if you leave them in the comment section down below. Now, at the top of the list this week, I am personally very excited because on an evening in February at 7 o'clock on the dot, hopefully, Usher, Raymond himself, will be performing at the halftime show during the Super Bowl. Now, I don't know about some of y'all. I only look forward to the Super Bowl for the parties and the halftime show. I don't care about who's playing in the game. I used to pretend to care about who was playing, but I don't. Not even gonna hold you anymore. I no longer care. I could not be more excited for Usher. Usher has hit after hit after hit for me, and it's gonna be super nostalgic. So, everybody's talking about Beyonce may come out. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. I really do not want to get too ahead of ourselves. However, I am excited. I think he's on tour right now. I know he's been in Vegas doing his thing because that's why Keke Palmer's baby daddy got all in his feelings. But neither here nor there. We don't need to move backwards. Can't wait for that. Moving on. We got Real Housewives of New York reunion fashions. It is their first reunion with this new group of girls. And let me just say, I went over the fashions over on my TikTok page. I said how I felt about them. If you want to know, you can go over there and see. However, people have been saying they all look like they're going to different events. They're not matchy, you know, like the Black Housewife franchises do. However, the Black Housewife franchises, they coordinate that themselves. I remember, that's why we have that, one of the most iconic Nene videos as of late. I ask you, is that a coincidence? Is that a coincidence? Because they told her a different color. I'm 98% positive they coordinate that themselves. You know, black folks love to match. We love to match, okay? Especially anytime we get an opportunity. So, I'm not surprised that the other ladies don't choose to all wear one color. Whatever, neither here nor there. My point is, all of them do look like they're going to a reunion. They all look like they're going to a reunion. It's just they're not matching. And that's it. I'm sorry. I mean, Jenna Lyons has on denim. Everybody said what they have to say about that. I don't have a problem with it on Jenna. But I do feel like they all look like they're going to a reunion. The only one who looks like maybe a reunion and a cocktail party is Erin. She doesn't look bad, but she looks like she could be going to a reunion then drinks at Catch later, if you know what I mean. I'm excited to see what the ladies bring, even though I don't have high expectations for it. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I do not have high expectations for this reunion. I'm ready to get it over with, though. I'm ready to get it over with. Speaking on some more housewife news. Apparently, allegedly, due to the physical altercation that took place between Jen Aiden and Danielle Cabral from New Jersey Housewives, they are suspended. They are suspended. Listen, Bravo, NBC Universal, they're cracking down. Okay, they said no more. We cannot do this. If you ask me, in the words of JoJo, too little too late, but you know what? I'm going to let them do it. Speaking of arguments of the non-physical kind, no one can stop talking about Kourtney and Kim Kardashian this week. Now, let me say this. I have not watched, I stopped watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I mean, way before they decided to end that show, way before. And I never watched it religiously. Like, it wasn't appointment television for me. If I caught it, I caught it. If I was at a friend's house and they were watching it, fine. But I was never like home on the dot for Kardashians. That just wasn't my thing. And then when they came out with the Hulu show, that was absolutely not for me. It was a hell nar, okay? However, I did get a wild hair up my ass probably 2 weeks ago, and I did start watching season 1 of the Kardashians, and it's just very bizarre. It came out of nowhere. And I was just, you know, kind of like, okay. I don't want to see Trifling Tristan because season 1 of the Kardashians on Hulu was before he cheated on Khloe again while the surrogate was pregnant with the second baby. Chloe, girl. I feel badly. I'd like, ugh, we can't get into that. We don't have time. And then it was the beginning, or maybe middle, I guess, of Travis and Kourtney mania. They were not engaged yet. They get engaged like 3 episodes into that new Hulu show on the first season. And let me tell you something. I don't think I was prepared for them to annoy me as much. Mainly Travis Barker. And then I stopped watching it. Fast forward to present day. And the trailer comes out. The new season drops. And Kourtney and Kim have this phone call that everyone is just like, how did we get here? The people who haven't watched the show in so long, myself included, are like, wait a minute, how do we get there? I mean, my whole TikTok algorithm is people pulling out past receipts of the dynamic, not only between Kourtney and Kim, but all of the older Kardashian siblings. And I want to say it was Crystal from The Read, my queen, who said, I'll hand it to the Kardashians. They know how to get y'all asses sucked right the fuck back in. And facts, because even I don't care that much, but the conversation within itself. So it goes, and I haven't even seen the episode. It goes a little something. They start the phone call. Hey, you know how they do. And Kim invites Kourtney to something Dolce & Gabbana related. I guess Kourtney had a Dolce & Gabbana themed wedding. I know I could not stand that fucking wedding dress, but we don't have time to go back there. And Kourtney pretty much says, I'm Dolce'd out. I don't want to be a part of this, da 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 da. According to the internet streets, Kourtney has quit the show multiple times. Sure. Okay. Gonna go with whatever they're saying. The conversation snowballs into, are you happy? Do you hate us? Kourtney is like, I just don't want to do this anymore. I don't care. I don't care to be famous. I don't care to do this show, blah, blah, blah. Let me stop right there. Kourtney Kardashian, even from what I've seen, really seems to be the sister, the member of that family, that acts as if she does not care to be a famous person. She doesn't care to be in the limelight. However, she does continuously do things that prove otherwise, right? She is currently pissed off the mayor of Malibu because she or her team were throwing a Poosh influencer party for her business. Poosh, what is it, a wellness business or something? And they disguised it as a baby shower and had the permits fast-tracked. Mayor of Malibu said, no, we in the car, we ride slow. I'm going to drive by and make sure this is what they said it was. And guess what? It wasn't. So it's like Kourtney does want to, she still wants to be in, some sort of limelight. And let's be honest, if you weren't Kourtney Kardashian, if it wasn't for the show and everything like that, then we wouldn't know who you were for you to be having a Poosh party, for you to be, doing all these things. So sometimes I feel like we need to call a spade a spade. You do want to kind of be in the limelight, just not as much as the show may require you to be, which is understandable. Kourtney, one thing people cannot deny, I feel like, is that Kourtney did show us a lot. We saw way more of her and Scott's relationship than any other relationship on that show. There's no denying that. The other reason I really am into the Kardashians on Hulu is because it makes me feel so badly for Scott. That is a conversation for a different day. We don't have enough time for me to get into that because I don't want to feel badly for Scott Disick. Ugh. So the conversation between Kourtney and Kim continues on. Kimberly just drags it to hell and says, your friends complain about you. We have a group chat called Not Kourtney. And let me just say this. I realized right there, that was the point where Kim was more concerned about making a TV show. She was more concerned about getting the ratings up than she was about making up with her sister, because no one who tells another person, we have a group chat that is strictly dedicated to not only you not being in it, but also talking about you, wants to mend a relationship at that time. If I'm trying to mend a relationship with somebody and I know that things are tense as hell, I am absolutely not telling them that there's a group chat titled Not Them, where we speak about them, I said, oh, Kimberly is thinking with her business brain. And that's probably why Kourtney is done with her ass. That's also just a very rude thing to say, okay? She then does not stop there. She goes on to tell her, you know, your kids even come to me and have told me things about you and complained about you. And that was the lowest part of hell, because if anybody were to say that to Kimberly, if anybody were to say that to Chloe, I feel like that wouldn't go over very well. Do we disagree? And again, the internet is ablaze with the think pieces on this family dynamic. And just like that, they have us hooked again. I mean, my goodness. Feel how you want to feel about them, but they got us talking. Here we are right now talking about it. I couldn't not talk about it. I couldn't not. A lot of people are going back and blaming Kris for the dynamic because obviously it starts with the mom. They're saying that she breeds a lot of this unhealthy relationship. And the only thing I have to say about that is, duh. Did y'all doubt for a second that it was Kris's fault? Because I did it and I wasn't even caught up on the show. I mean, honestly, truly, even the 6 episodes I've watched of the first season, I'm like, this is Kris's fault. Every different argument, anything, even the ones with Scott, I'm like, this is Kris's fault. I'm sorry, this is Kris's fault. Like they say, the devil works hard, but Kris Jenner works harder. That's her working hard. Had she not bred this unhealthy relationship between her children, I don't think she'd be as rich. I don't think any of them would. Because we're addicted to watching it. We're addicted to it. And even if you don't watch the show, you hear about it. You consume it in some way. I swear to God, this shit, the Kardashians are going to be studied in like psychology and sociology classes in the future. In the hold they had on media. I can't tell you if, because I think they're in season 5 or 4 now. I don't know. I can't say with confidence that I'm going to watch seasons 1 through 4 leading up to that. I personally wanted to get to the physical altercation between Kourtney and Kim. However, somebody told me that that actually happened on Keeping Up with the Kardashians towards the end, not on Kardashians on Hulu. And that upset me and my homegirls, because when I tell you that is one of my favorite reality TV physical fights. Just from beginning to end. Don't you dig your nails at me? Don't you ever. The way, I said this multiple places this week, the way Kim's bob is moving during that fight. And like, Kim gets a couple 1-2s in at her, and then Kourtney bops her up against the head so damn hard that Kim's face is up against the wall. I can't get into it again because I will start crying. It is, whenever it comes across my timeline, I can't watch it just once. I cannot watch it just once. It is pure high comedy. Oh my goodness. We'll see what's to come. I don't know if the girlies are making up yet. Last thing on my list for this evening is going to be, and I debated whether or not I wanted to talk about this, but Nene Leakes did an interview with a previous housewife from New York City that I'm not going to say their name, but you know who I'm talking about. The one who's been conducting a lot of podcast interviews lately and trying to lead a change in reality TV by calling out NBC Universal and Andy Cohen, even though she is one of the housewives that benefited the most from the favoritism with Andy Cohen. So Nene Leakes did the interview. I personally didn't listen to it because I will not give that woman my numbers. Okay, it pains me that I'm talking about it here. However, I want to help Nene so badly with some of the things that she's trying to say, because I feel as if Nene just goes off of what social media comments say, and she's like, oh yeah, I remember that, that's a good idea. Oh yeah, I remember that, that's a good idea. And then she sprinkles in some things that maybe we didn't know, or she only told us 1 or 2 times. And I'm like, Lanithia, as my favorite housewife of all time, please don't do this. Don't do this. But alas, here we are. Speaking of Atlanta Housewives, Kroy and Kim, never mind. We're not even going to get into those two. Kroy got his, pretty much Kim told the courts that they were still doing the boom doom. And so the courts tried to throw out the petition for divorce. And then Kroy said, no, I have done the boom doom with her, but I do still want a divorce. And so then the court said, okay, enough. Because again, I will say, the people I feel the worst for are actually the children. And at first it was just the smaller children I felt worse for. It's starting to bleed into Brielle and Ariana because they are actually adults who get online and see all of this back and forth. Oh. Now, if you want to hear how I feel about all of the episodes we watched this week as far as Real Housewives and other Bravo shows, how I feel on any other topics, and of course, my Love is Blind takes, because Love is Blind is back, you can head over to my podcast, the Who Asked Me podcast. You can also head over to my TikTok page, Who Asked Zell, where I leave nothing unsaid. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe over here. And like I said earlier, if you want me to talk about any topics throughout the week, just head on over to the comment section. Type and let me know what you're feeling, what you say I absolutely need to hit on, and I will hit on it. Okay? Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll talk to y'all next time.